What do you find more interesting? This excellent voice, or perhaps this picturesque landscape? Don't worry, this is not an advertisement. Or maybe you enjoy the city skylines. But what you'll definitely enjoy is our podcast, The Dinner Convo, hosted by a group of friends like these people, except we hate each other, and amazing guests. So sit back and relax. You're in for the ride of a lifetime. And after watching the podcast, you'll be happy as this gentleman became. So without any further ado, welcome to the Dinner Convo. Just goddamn subscribe already.
Peace upon you all. Welcome to the Dinner
Wait, wait,
Convo.
wait, wait,
And-
wait, wait.
Yeah.
Man, you sound like Jimmy Fallon. He's gonna sue us for that. Come on, man. Try something different.
Are you sure, man? Come on. No, I mean, he won't even know of us. It doesn't really matter. Never mind. This
No,
is
you
our
can do
trade.
better. You can do better.
Yeah. I've been thinking of coming up with a new intro for the last 2 hours. Nothing came up, so this is the best we can do. Anyways, guys, hope you guys, all of you
Okay.
watching, you wonderful viewers, are doing extremely well. And today's a very special episode. You'll know after a few minutes why. So stick around, guys. And once again, whatever you're doing, if you watch, whatever you're doing, hope you're doing good for the world. And if you're watching this podcast, we recommend you bring in your family members along with you because, well, this is a podcast where we want you guys to stay happy, and a little family time really does helps you stay happy. And once again, I'm going to be the sadistic friend and let Hardin take over the boring job of telling you guys to subscribe. Tell them, boys.
Come on. Okay. So, guys, you know the drill. Subscribe to our channel, like this video,
Gotta
and
be
check
more
out our.
emotional. Nobody would like a guy who, they would not subscribe after seeing you, looking at you. Be a little more emotional. Show them what their subscription
Should I
means to us. Come
should
on.
I cry? Should I cry for subscribers?
If it helps, yes.
I'm okay, guys. Check out our previous videos. You'll love. I mean, we had absolutely phenomenal guests throughout this podcast. And if you have any suggestions on how to improve our podcast, please write it in the comment section below. And without further ado, let's introduce our guest.
Yeah, you gotta tell your dog to shut up, man. It's not really a thing.
Oh no, it's in the road. It's barking for
Yeah,
some
yeah, I
reason.
know it's your dog. It's fine. Okay, so our today's guest is a really
Welcome.
special guest. Okay, so this episode has just me and Fardin in it, and we both are huge fans of this guy. Okay, so he has literally shown he given by the grace of God, he given hope to both the people who wanting to travel a luxurious form of traveling and people who want to travel on a budget. He has shown both these people the route to travel, and we have a lot of respect for this amazing guy. He has over 1.3 million subscribers. Million, yeah, that's a number that we cannot imagine. That's like, I don't know, 1,200,000 something thousand, more than that, a lot. So, and he's here tonight. It's really exciting for us. So please welcome all the way from, I think he's joining us from France, Bobby Briskey. Bobby, can we have you?
What's up, guys?
Hey,
Hey,
man,
man.
hey, what's up? So good to have you. So good to
I'm
have
doing great.
It's great.
How are you guys?
We're
Yeah,
doing great.
we're doing great.
Doing great. Thank you. Thank you for joining us once again, man. And it really does mean a lot, the fact that you're here. In a podcast where the equipments are bad and the hosts are even worse, and the only thing keeping us alive, by the grace of God, are the amazing guests that we have in every episode. So thank you for joining us.
I'm
Okay,
very happy to be here.
Yeah, we're happy to have you. So speaking of which, Bobby, I believe you're in Paris now.
Yes, right now I'm in Paris. I've been living in Paris for pretty much the entire quarantine, Corona kind of period. So yeah, I have been living here, shooting a few videos here, but mostly just studying French and really diving into the French culture because for me, I have a travel channel, but also I just love learning about different cultures and languages. So
That sounds really amazing.
That's good.
Actually, that's very good to know. And the fact that you live in Paris now, when a few days back you were this legendary YouTuber from New York, and I know the cities are quite different, quite drastic. You know, New York has huge buildings and a lot of cool places. Paris, I haven't been
Yeah.
to Paris. It must be a great city as well. So, how does it feel like living in two different cities with two different like environment?
Yeah, sure. Well, let's see. So I feel as though every city has a specific energy to it, a specific feeling when you walk into the street. New York has this like electric, go-getter, you can do anything kind of feeling. But it also, on the other spectrum, can be a little bit stressful, especially if you've just moved there, right? Because it's like everybody's running, everybody's working. There's this, people want to make themselves basically. And Paris, it's an amazing city, a beautiful city. I love Paris. It isn't so much a business city slash kind of like go-getters type of city. It's more so let's enjoy life while also having a city at our disposal to give us amazing opportunities, basically. Which for a YouTuber, the two, it doesn't really matter which one you're in, but I feel as though each city has incredible opportunities to create videos and just different interesting subjects to capture. So.
Well, that sounds that's a really interesting perspective into the
Yeah,
life in Paris.
absolutely.
We haven't really been there, but thank you for that. And yeah, Farjan really wants to be a part of this conversation because I'm telling this to you because I'm his friend and he won't ever tell you this. The moment we started this podcast, he was like, "We gotta ring Bobby." Okay, even before the podcast started, he talks about you in class. I watched your videos. After he told me,
that means a lot.
I watched the videos too, and needless to say that I love the channel, and Fartin's a massive fan, and he's probably this is the first time he's shaking. Actually, he never is this nervous. Okay, he's probably Messi's idol. So Fartin, why don't
No,
you
I'm not nervous. I'm just too excited. I have been a Living Bobby fan from like 2018.
Oh,
It's just so,
Dude, you have
it's
no
so,
idea how much that means. Like, really,
yeah,
you have
it's
no
so
idea how
great.
much that
It's
means.
so great to see your videos. I think the first video I saw was it's like the challenge you did with London Hacks and Simon Wilson.
Oh, yeah, London Hacks and Simon Wilson.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
video was.
amazing
I
guys.
mean, your ideas were amazing, man. Like the money you made from those, that was amazing. So,
Sure.
Bobby, how did you start your YouTube channel, and why did you choose, traveling as your concept of the YouTube channel?
Yeah, sure. So, I started YouTube a long time ago, maybe like 6 or 7 years ago now. I had no intention of building a big audience or anything like that. I was just filming videos in my college dorm room, and my roommates would help me with the videos, and we'd have a lot of fun. And at the same time, I was watching YouTube to get inspired to travel, to just embrace life, to live the life that I wanted to the fullest. It was kind of like those, I don't know how old you guys are, but it's kind of, for me, college was like those years where I'm like, I don't know necessarily what I want to do with my life, but I know I want to do something amazing. And I know what I want to do something like awesome. So I used YouTube kind of as that outlet of like, okay, what are other people doing? And so after college, then I went and started traveling the world instead of taking a job. And I traveled super cheaply at this point, having a budget of, I don't know, less than like $10 a day. Like, it was quite a small budget. And I did that for close to like 3 years or something like that. And every place I went to, I would make a video. Now, this was not at all like, it was not at all for building an audience. It was just for me. It was for, my family. But then when I came back to New York after my travels, I was like, you know what? I really want to start building a YouTube channel. And a really good friend of mine at the time, Brett Conti, which I think you guys interviewed, he had just like built his YouTube channel up to like 10,000 subscribers. And I was like, how are you doing this? This is amazing. And he's like, oh, you have to like do a thumbnail, you have to like think of, you know, your video subjects. And I'm like, what's a thumbnail? And like all of these different things. And long story short, then I just started posting videos of my life in New York, and it all went from there. So.
Whoa.
It's amazing.
we love
That's amazing.
Yeah, we love how most YouTubers we interview, never really had the passion of becoming a YouTuber at the beginning, but then they did something, and spontaneously it grew to this fantastic thing they are now. Speaking of college, Bobby, I know you used to build a lot of websites in college, and
yeah,
and how did that skill of yours help you in your life as a YouTuber?
Definitely quite a lot. Because so I was kind of at the time when I was 18, so I'm 27 right now, it was 9 years ago. When I was 18, I started a website and SEO company. At the time, SEO, search engine optimization, everybody was like, what are you talking about? Like, what, like SEO, what does that mean? Like, you can move things up on Google. Like, really, it's crazy how much things have changed in such a short period of time. I sound so old for saying that, but I like that's how I feel. So basically I did this for 4 years, this company of making websites, doing SEO. That's how I met Brett, actually. Brett Comptius. I did his first Fortune website. So, so in terms of websites for YouTube, websites didn't necessarily help me, but SEO, search engine optimization, the mentality of keywords and choosing subjects and understanding what people are looking for, that really helped me on YouTube. That was like a huge dot that I connected in my past of like, oh, wow, I can use this information for YouTube as well. So I would say very much. It helped me very much.
Whoa, that's amazing to know
great.
as well. And I'm sorry for the video, Fadin. You can ask next. One thing I really want to know about is this. Remember, I know in college, when you were in college, this guy who started a beer company had this presentation in your college, right? And you approached him with your project. I want to know how that was like, and your experience in that particular moment. I'm really eager to know that, actually.
So what exactly do you want to know about it? What was it?
Exactly? What was going through your mind before that? Because I know that was a huge leap for you. That was, that shows how determined you are to get to your play, to where you want to be. So I just want to know about what was going through your mind before that.
Yeah. Okay, so I was at this entrepreneurship club. I approached this guy that had a beer company, and I just was telling him about his website, because for me, I was, like I just said, I had all this energy bursting out of me, and the only thing that I wanted to do was like to build myself and grow and to build this company that I was doing. And the only way that you can really build something from the ground up is kind of like just throwing yourself into things, getting out of your comfort zone, talking to people, pitching them, but not, selling, but just pitching, seeing what they, want. So basically, before going up there, I looked at his website and I'm like, just like looking at your website, it doesn't really seem like it's, I don't mean any disrespect, but it doesn't seem like you maybe put a lot of work into it. Like, I have, a package that my company does where we don't really charge too much money, and it can really make it look very beautiful and a very custom website. And so he wasn't interested, but then Brett came up behind me and he's like, I need a website. I'm like, yeah, there we go. So it just like, it goes to show you, like, I know on my videos and I know in that moment, it could be perceived that I'm a very extroverted person, but I come from the place of being an introvert, kind of pushing myself to being an extrovert. So even if you're an introvert and you push yourself to just be like, you know what, I know this is what I have to do to get to where I'm going, it can really lead to things like Brad and me becoming friends, me doing his website, like all that stuff. So everything counts. I guess.
Whoa, that's fantastic. That's really.
That's great.
Now I'm really satisfied that I
great.
got to know this particular pod. Yeah, and what's amazing is like, yeah, and one thing I want to clear
And
though. I'm sorry.
it's also
Yeah.
great to hear about Bobby and Brett's friendship. I mean, it's
Exactly,
very
fantastic.
very great to
Yeah,
hear, man.
it'll be
I
fun.
still remember when I asked Brett that who was the most inspirational person in your life. He answered instantly, "It's probably Bobby." So we were
He
like,
did
yeah,
answer
That means
that.
a lot. That's
He
awesome.
did,
Wow,
he did
that's
answer
sweet.
that actually. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
that's so cool.
and what's
yeah,
more,
absolutely.
what's interesting is how you said you were an introvert trying to push yourself to become an extrovert, and the fact marketing pitches are really fun when you see them on TV or in movies. They're very nerve wracking, but when you can execute it perfectly, it's really fun. So I'm pretty sure you did that.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah,
speaking of
no, absolutely.
speaking of perfect execution, this is something you won't see here right now. We have this segment on our show called the Why Wait Round. So this is simple. So all you gotta do is you'll get 9 seconds, okay, and we'll be asking you questions, rapid fire
Yep.
questions, about yourself, and those different things. And a lot of these questions will be stupid because I am really bad at this game. I ask questions like, "What's your full name?" So please feel free to answer such questions. Come to think of it, this is like okay, and every question you answer, you get 1 point, and at the end of the game, the total score you get will be compared with the other scores that we that the other guests have achieved in this particular round. So the
Yeah, it's
highest
sort of
score
a
till
leaderboard.
somewhat,
Okay, so
yeah.
basically, the only thing I need to do is answer the questions in 9 seconds.
Yeah,
That's correct.
Yup.
90
And if there's
seconds.
any questions you think you can't answer within 1 or 2 words, you can just skip. All right, there's no problem. There's no rush. And the reason I say there won't be any perfect execution because I suck at this. And okay, no worries. Let's get to it. Okay, let me set a timer. 1 minute,
All right,
30
let's see how I
seconds.
can do.
Yeah, you'll do.
Okay.
Anybody who says that does smashes the game. They do it really well.
Yeah.
Well, let's
Oh.
hope. I'm gonna take a sip of one.
Take your time, no worries. The highest
for
score till now is 19, I believe, right, Fadin?
Yeah.
19, right?
19.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
wow.
the top three is
Okay.
19, 18, and 17. So if you get 17, you're in the top three. Even if you don't get the top three, it's still worth it, Okay, let's see.
Okay.
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 Let's do it.
Are you ready, bro? Are you ready, Bobby?
Yes.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. What is your full name?
Robert Alexander Briskey.
Where were you born first? Or where were you born?
Grange, Illinois.
Favorite city?
Tokyo.
Do you like the place where you were born?
I like it, but I couldn't live there forever.
New York or LA?
New York.
What's your favorite food?
Oh no. Street food in general, but I love the Japanese cuisine and Korean cuisine. Oh shoot, yeah, this is bad.
Chinatown dumplings or $1 pizza?
Dollar pizza.
Do you play games?
Yes.
What's your favorite game?
Ooh. FIFA.
Messi or Ronaldo?
Messi. Of course.
Why Messi? Why Messi?
Ronaldo just gives me I don't like the vibe all the time of Ronaldo.
What's the one team you always use in FIFA? Or most use in FIFA?
Cameroon.
What's your favorite sport?
Baseball.
If you weren't a YouTuber, what would you be?
Shoot. Full-time traveler. Finding a way to make money.
Right. That's.
Oh man, I did so bad.
No, you were good
So
actually. You were
bad.
great. You were great.
No, you did great.
Yeah.
You did great.
How many did Bobby get? Friday?
Bobby got 14.
9 or something.
Oh, and since you're Fardin's favorite YouTuber and as well. We'll give you a bonus question without the question. It's let's just say it's off the charts, and
Absolutely.
we'll edit it and make it 50.
Don't
Okay,
don't tell anyone. You know.
yeah, we'll edit it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which college did you go to? I mean, that was like singing in my mind, so I was gonna ask that.
I went to Manhattan College with Brett.
Whoa, fantastic. Okay, that's
That's
15, Bobby. Congratulations. That's good. That's very good. 15 used to be the third highest score until 2 guests came and just destroyed it, you know. And
Yeah,
now
Favorite
we're
food
here.
question really got me. The favorite food question was a roadblock.
I knew that would be one, so I was like, okay, let's just try something.
Yeah.
Speaking of favorite foods, you know, what's your favorite food? Now you can answer it in detail, so no problem.
Yeah. This is a hard question because I really tend to appreciate every cuisine's food. Like, no joke. Like,
So you're like Mark
I'm
Weeds.
not. Yeah, no. Honestly, me and Mark, I think, have a similar way of like feeling about food. It's not necessarily like, oh, this is disgusting. It's like, no, like I appreciate this culture. And normally, a culture for many years will think, oh, how do we make this delicious for this culture? So I tend to appreciate every type of food. My favorite food, like if you were really like, you know, pushing me against the wall, like tell me your favorite food. I would probably say my favorite like fatty food, like rich food, like the food that you eat before like just sleeping 10 hours or 15 hours or something, that would be French food. Just like the French kind of like a traditional, like I don't know, like a traditional South West French meal, like a cassoulet or something like that. And, or if you were saying like an everyday type of food, like you have to eat this food forever, I would either say Greek food, like the Greek cuisine in general, or Korean food, because the Korean food cuisine is huge. Greek food is just so fresh and delicious. Only in Greece, though. I wouldn't want to eat Greek food like in New York or something like that. Only in Greece.
Well, apparently you're in France, so basically you're eating French food every day, like.
It's,
I'm like,
I was
I'm like buttering up.
I was expecting dollar pizza, to be honest. I was like, oh, this guy has done so many videos on it. It's definitely got to be there, you know?
Dollar pizza is definitely, see, this is what I mean. This is an impossible question for me to answer because I really appreciate every type of food. Like dollar pizza, I almost feel like it's not necessarily about the flavor for me. It's more about the feeling. Like dollar pizza for me is a feeling. It's a place where like you go with your friends, like for a snack, or like I don't know, like right before a bus ride, you go and get a dollar slice, and you're like, oh, New York is the best, like something like that. Like if you go to California, the cheapest slice is like $4, and it's like what? Like it's crazy. So, dollar pizza is always in my heart. It always stays there.
Oh, so Bobby, besides doing YouTube, you're also an entrepreneur, I believe. So
Yes.
how do you do both of these? Like, isn't it very tiring, or like how do you manage this?
Yeah. So I would say that YouTube is a really interesting industry because you look at something like I don't know, like an Amazon FBA or some other online entrepreneurship or something like that, and I would say like you can definitely scale it a lot easier. YouTube, it combines creativity and also like business knowledge. So for me, when I started YouTube, I was doing a lot more. I was doing many different projects other than YouTube. But now YouTube is kind of my center focus, whereas also like video is my focus as well. So I work on a couple of commercials for a few companies. I am like in the process of launching a product on my channel. I'm in the process of creating other channels. So I would say right now YouTube is very much so my center focus, but how I kind of balance everything is just finding really amazing people to assist me with what I do. So
Yeah, that's great.
Wow.
And
That's good to hear.
speaking of your YouTube, you get these, like, the cheapest flight, the cheapest first class, then the cheapest hotel, the cheapest, bus capsule. So how do you get these offers actually?
Yeah,
Like,
we need to
how
know
do you
this, man.
find them?
This is
Yeah,
very
I
important.
mean, even
Traveling
we
on a budget is
even
what we do.
even we
We need
want
to
to
know
know
it.
them.
Exactly. Thank you
Yeah,
for
I
asking
mean,
this part, then.
I mean, I this is something like I don't think many people realize how long it takes to find stuff like this. Um, like the cheapest first class flight, that took me so long to, one, find like the route that was the cheapest, and two, find like availability for it. That's so how I find these deals is really a lot of research. For example, like the 5-star hotel, it that probably took me like a week to find. Not like a week of like going into the office being like, okay, I'm on the computer for 7 hours, but it took me like a long, time. It wasn't just like what's the cheapest 5-star hotel. Like if you look that up, articles, no offense to different blogs, but there's some blogs that are very unreliable. Like the cheapest 5-star hotel will be a hotel in the middle of Russia that's a 3-star hotel actually, and it's like actually not the cheapest. It's like it's really hard to actually do like finding the deals. So I would just say I really do a lot of research, use different types of keywords as entry points into Google, and just am constantly researching.
Whoa. Okay. So research,
That's some
research,
hard
research.
work there, man.
That's just really. We should have done a
Absolutely.
lot. We should have done a lot more research on you because we could have asked great questions about it. Then there's this show called The Hot.
You're doing amazing questions.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Man.
There's a show called The Hot Ones. Where they have like spicy celebrities taste spicy wings, and the interviewer there
Yeah.
is like our benchmark. Okay, so he goes deep research on all these guests and finds out what he did in high school or maybe in preschool, I don't know, and then talks about it. And if you guys are like so impressed, and we want to do something like that. So yeah, Sean Evans, we're coming for you, man.
I love it. No, you guys are doing a fantastic job. I love the section that you guys did, the rapid fire section. Like it felt a little bit like that. I was like, oh, this feels like Hot Ones a little bit.
Yeah,
I
thank you
mean,
so
man,
much, man.
by the grace of God, we have had amazing guests like you that make this podcast watchable. So it's thank you.
Even
guys.
better,
It's
even
just-
better.
Yeah, and speaking of which,
You
and
guys are
would
doing
you talk-
amazing.
Yeah, your YouTube career is really a very like your travel vlogging and your food tours and stuff. This is something that is, I would say, really inspirational because a lot of people wanting to travel on a budget would see that and be like, okay, so maybe food outside is not really expensive. I would want to look into it. So my question is, like even in the most expensive cities like Osaka, like Tokyo, Osaka, or importantly New York, or even Paris. You have lived in the most important, like the most expensive cities in the world.
No.
So, um, so my question is, I wanted to know, like, all you said research, but what do you think? Is it important for these cities to have more places like this where there are cheap eats, but the food is delicious as well?
So I honestly think in every city in the world, you can definitely live affordably, especially traveling. In New York, a lot of people have this thought of that New York is expensive, which New York is expensive, but for rent only. If you eat, for example, at shops that maybe the people don't speak English, maybe the people just have arrived, from a different country. Maybe that restaurant is only technically for like Chinese people or something like that. I would go there because that's an even better experience because it's like you're traveling through this culture. You're really embracing this culture. People are super happy to see you there because you are appreciating their culture. And three, it's a cheap price. And I feel like in every city, there's a lot of options. So I would say, um, maybe in a city like, I don't know, like Luxembourg or something like that. Like Luxembourg City is like, there's not many options for being cheap. So I would say for sure, I think it would be great. I always think it's great if there's definitely more options, but I think they're always out there. Like there's definitely always things that you can do, especially if you're visiting just for a week. So
That's great. That's
Interesting.
great.
That's a great
Yeah.
perspective. Bob?
Bobby, after this quarantine is over, which countries are you thinking of visiting? Yeah, and is Bangladesh one of them?
Come
oh,
on, man. It's gotta be
absolutely. I was expecting. I'm so this quarantine or this coronavirus. And like obviously it's been hard, for everybody, but for me, I was like so um crushed is too strong of a word, but I was like really looking forward to like traveling more than I ever had, having more videos than I've ever, doing more videos than I've ever made. And Bangladesh, that was one of the countries on my list to come to. So I was really looking forward to it. But obviously it's postponed. But I 100% will come.
Well,
Yeah, that's great to hear,
makes us
man.
really happy. And you know who to reach out to if you're coming to Bangladesh. We're here for you always.
Oh, absolutely.
We're always here.
Just give us a message, man. No problem. We'll show you around.
What
And
what city do you live in?
live in the
We're in
capital, like
Dhaka.
Dhaka, the capital. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Fardin and I like live in the same area, but
Area.
quarantine and
Okay.
coronavirus, so we have to do the podcast from different places and stuff. And plus if you come to Bangladesh, we can show you where we originally come from, like our home, because Bangladesh has a lot of different cities, and every city
Yes.
has its own, just like any other country, has their own
That's
Yeah.
true.
identity, their environment, and you won't have a problem doing like $1 challenges here, because in $10, there's this YouTuber called Jubinsky. Have you heard of him? Jubinsky.
Yeah, for sure. I've heard of Drew. Yeah.
He's done this $10 challenge in Bangladesh, and
Yeah.
with that, in the $10 challenge, he had enough. He enjoyed enough stuff to last 2-3 days. So it's really cheap. Kind of like Bali or Pattaya. Kind of like that. So yeah, money won't. So you can do a lot of cheap food
Absolutely.
challenges here. So that's like the hub for cheap food challenges video.
I'm excited because I've watched a bunch of different videos and food videos from just the street vendors and everything like that there, and it looks amazing. It looks amazing. It honestly, it was one of the top countries on my list this year, and it's unfortunate that everything happened the way it did, but I'll definitely be there once everything is back up and running.
We
Fine,
will be
man. You know
waiting
what?
for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We really love your spirit. That what's happened has happened. Maybe in the future, once it ends, you'll be going back. You'll be hustling again. That's really appreciative. Speaking of hustling, what advice? There are a lot of people who want to travel. As I said, I'm repeating this too much. There are a lot of people who want to travel. They look at different places and they're like, okay, wow, this is so different. I want to go there. I was like this.
Yeah.
I'm too young to travel alone though. But a lot of people think there are too many barriers to traveling. Like there's a financial barrier. There's not a language barrier because a lot of people can't speak English now, and there are a lot of different things that hinder the person from stepping up and traveling. So what advice would you want to give to fellow upcoming travelers who want to travel the world, experience the different places?
I would say the number one piece of advice, or the number one thing that everybody should know, is the only thing that's stopping you is yourself. And maybe maybe people will be like, oh, but you now have 1 million subscribers on YouTube, and you can travel wherever you want and stuff like that. And like, I get that, but I started everything when I was on a budget of $10 a day, sometimes even less than that. And I always thought I can do this and I can do anything I want. But how can I do that, basically, was the question. So, for example, I had been traveling for about a year, and I had run out of money, basically. And I was like, shoot, okay, like how am I going to continue to travel? Because really, like, I always operate with the philosophy of like, what do I want to do? How do I do that? And so I was thinking, okay, well, maybe I can like find a job somewhere and stuff, and I can keep on traveling. So for about 6 months, I taught English in Vietnam. And that was an incredible experience because, you know, living in a country for 6 months is a lot different than traveling there for a week. So I would say to anybody that wants to travel to get out there, just to have an open heart and open mind, understand that money is not, you know, money is definitely not something that should hold you back. The only thing that's holding you back is yourself, and just go, just throw yourself, just do it. Obviously, it's good to have a budget, really good to have a budget, but, you know, but just do it, you know, throw yourself.
Wow, that was really good. Trust me.
That's fantastic.
And a lot of travelers I know have this. I've seen a lot of people we've interviewed. At one point in their lives, they were teaching English at a non-speaking English-speaking country. Any reason why?
That's great.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, it's like, it's one of the best. It's definitely one of the best jobs you can have. And actually, though, like, I know a lot of people that are non-native English speakers that have become English teachers too, because English is just in such a high demand. So I would say that it's a cool job for anybody that speaks fluent English or close to fluent English.
Wow, that's great to hear. That's really great to hear.
Okay. Speaking of traveling, Bobby, which has been your favorite country to visit and why?
Let's see. So honestly, I have not disliked any country I've ever been to. I think that every country that you go to, there's a reason why it's a country, right? It's like, well, I guess most countries at least, but every country that I've been to, I've loved, and I've appreciated. I would say that, let's see, I would say my favorite country, if you were to combine everything from the food to the people to just, you know, the different things that you can do there. It's a tough question. I would say that for absolute just culture shock, Japan. Japan was just like, whoa, what is going on here? Everything is so different. And I guess for sheer adventure, Mongolia. Mongolia was just like mind blowing. I haven't done videos in Mongolia. I only went there when I wasn't shooting YouTube videos. I went there for a month, and it was just like, it was the craziest experience ever. Overall, I would say countries that show me a different way of life that I never thought was possible. Something that, you know, it feels like a different world where everybody is the same as you and me, right? It's like, it's the wildest thing. It's like, whoa, like, you're the same as me. We have different cultures, but like, this place is so different how you live and everything. So I would say Japan and Mongolia would probably be the top two, but again, like, I like every country. Like, if I were to rate those 100, I would rate the others like a 99.9.
Oh wow, that's great. That's great.
Yeah.
Like, you've been to Japan a lot. Are you a fan of anime? I need to ask this. I'm sorry.
Let's see. So I'm not like, I love anime. I love Japanese films. I love Japanese animation in general. I would say that I'm more of a fan, not as much of a fan of anime as I am of things like Totoro or something like that, or like Spirited Away. Like those, like I'm obsessed with those type of movies. But anime, when I was younger, I would binge watch anime, but I didn't even know it was anime. I was like, oh, I love this type of show. But I'm not huge into it, but I appreciate it. I love it. Like if I would turn it on, I would enjoy it for sure.
Whoa, that's great. Okay, and we're not gonna be keeping you hold here for your. We're not going to be holding you here for long, Bobby. I know you're a busy person, but just a few more minutes because we're just so excited to learn about all these awesome things. That's why we do this podcast.
Absolutely, man.
And I wanted to talk about the haircut you got in India, the really really cheap haircut. And what was the experience like? I know I saw the video, but I want to hear you talk about it here, like live in front of us.
Honestly, like I wish the barber was downstairs from my apartment now. Like I loved that barber, and he was just like, it was such a it was such a different type of experience because everybody was coming up to me. People were saying hi. People were being so warm. People were asking, like what I was doing with my camera and everything like that, which is a very big difference compared to going to the barbershop in France, for example, where, you sit down in the seat, you wait for, your time to go to the barber. He like asks you what you want. You talk to him maybe a tiny bit, but not too much. With this guy, like he hardly spoke any English, and we were still communicating. And the haircut was great. It was definitely outside of my comfort zone because I've never had a straight haircut before. But I loved it. I would do it every time if I could.
Yeah, I could see the reaction. I mean, Bobby was like, "Whoa, what is this man doing?" But after the haircut, he was okay with it.
Arjun came to school the next day. Arjun came to school the day after, the video was released, and he was like, "Man, oh man, we paid so much for a haircut. Look at Bobby, he got it done for such a less amount." And we were like, that's funny. We need to travel, man, to get all these awesome privileges that are available around the world for a little money as well. That's too. Yeah.
So Bobby, can you give us some advice on content creation?
Sure. So I would say the number one piece of advice that I can give you is just start. I really was so bad at making videos. Like if I were to tell myself 7 years ago that, two people that I didn't know before, talking to them over a video chat would say like, "Oh, I love your videos. They're amazing." I would like laugh in your face. It'd be like, "There's no way, like my videos are okay, I guess, but like they're not the best." But I would just say, keep on creating because now I'm at a point where I'm proud of where my videos are going, and I'm really proud of the editing that I put into it and the research and everything. But really just starting is like the biggest roadblock because everybody always looks for like, "Oh well, is this going to make me money, or is this going to fulfill this for me, or is this going to get me to the place I want to go to?" And if you're starting something new, or if you're a little bit new into it, it probably won't get you to the place you want. Like you need to just keep on doing and doing and doing, and then at some point something's just going to click and you're going to be like, "Oh my gosh, like I'm so proud of this. Like people are happy with this. People love this. Like this is exactly what I wanted to do." I would say just put in the work, and anything that makes you feel somewhat alive or somewhat fiery and passionate, because they, all the dots connect after a while. But starting as soon as possible is the best piece of advice that I can give.
That was awesome. We loved it.
That was great to hear. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and we really love the fact that you're putting a lot of emphasis on content creation rather than putting money first. When we're talking, we're like, even no matter how big this YouTube channel grows, we're not really going to monetize it because we did this with the intention of making people smile and motivating people, and you can really put a price to it. So that's what we want to do, and we really love that you have a similar motto. It's fantastic. Okay, and Bobby, so any last piece of, if you could, okay, one last question, one last thing, if you could give any person anywhere one sentence to motivate them, what would you say?
Oh man, that's tough. Um, let's see. I would just say that whatever whatever you think you want to do, like if you know you have this crazy idea of traveling, like if you have this crazy idea of traveling the world right away, which who knows, maybe it's not so crazy for you, but for me, for example, it was the craziest thing in the world. Like I was from a tiny town in Chicago. Even going to New York was crazy, right? So I would just say doing what you want to do and not having any sense of reality for at least a couple of years. Just like follow your passion, just do it, just like Nike says, just do it. But just do what you want to do. I feel a lot of people start going down the wrong path with them thinking like, oh, I have to get this office job, I have to, which there's nothing wrong with that if you want that, but or I have to like go to this place, or I have to do this, like all these, like I have to. More so think like, what do I want? Because for example, if you were playing video games when you were my age, when I was young, like, or when I was like 15 or something like that, like way back when, during that time, people thought, you would be a loser, like you would end up nowhere. And now video games are like one of the biggest industries in the world. So it's like, just follow what you want to do, and it can get you to places that are unimaginable for you when you start.
Amazing. Really, really love that. I mean, that was fantastic.
Fantastic.
I would have ended this now, but you said you were born in Chicago, so the deep dish pizza or the dollar pizza in New York? I need to ask this.
Oh man. Depends. If I'm with my family, I would definitely say Chicago style pizza, because it's like, I grew up with like my mom being like, hey, do you want a deep dish tonight? And be like, yeah, like let's get a deep dish, and everybody would like take a slice, but any other time, dollar pizza. I mean, that's where my heart is, right? But with my family, deep dish, but every time, dollar pizza.
Great to know that.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you for being with us, Bobby. I know we're still learning, and the fact that you were patient and your words and your energy really allowed us to move forward on the level. We really,
Yeah.
really appreciate this.
It
That's awesome.
encouraged us quite
Super
a lot.
happy.
Exactly.
That's
We
awesome.
really loved your advices and stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
And it's
Happy
finally
that
great
I could help.
and it's finally great to see, one best thing about this podcast that we do is a few months back we were watching you guys on YouTube, like you were on the computer screen. There you were. Now we're like talking to you guys. It's surreal. It's like
Yeah.
Absolutely.
we had Mark Weens on the first episode. I've been watching him for like 2 years, and then there he is. I've been
Wow.
watching Brett Condy for quite a lot, and there Brett Condy is. And there's this YouTuber I used to watch since 2015. He is basically he used to be the former U.S. football, like soccer, team captain Jimmy Conrad. We've had him as well. It's just so surreal. And then it's you. We've been watching you for so long as well. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, it's
Thank you
like,
for being here.
when the pandemic started, we haven't really connected with our friends that much, but it's like we still are talking to you, and it's a big moment for us. It's like we never thought that at the start of 2020 that this would happen. So it's great. It's a great feat.
That's life though. Like that's really what I think life is about. It's like you never think something's gonna happen, and then you just do it and do it some more, and then it happens, and you're just like, oh my gosh, like I can make I can do whatever I want to do. I just need to start. I need to put in the work to send messages, to think of how I want my podcast to be, like all that stuff.
Wow, thank you, man. We've talked to YouTubers and influencers more than we did to our friends this quarantine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So thank you guys for
You guys
watching.
can talk to your friends soon.
Yeah,
Sorry.
sure. Thank you. No worries. No worries. So all of you who've made it this far, you guys are absolute legends. And I'm definitely sure you like what Bobby had to say. And the reason I said this episode was special for two reasons. First, Living Bobby, of course. Second, this was going to be the last episode of our season, because we're A-level students, and A-levels are a bit of a bummer, and we have to do it. So all of you out there, we just want to say thank you for sitting with us throughout the whole first season. We'll probably bring a Q&A soon. I don't know. We're obviously doing things, not a podcast. We'll be taking a break for a little bit longer. We'll be taking a break till December, and then when our exams are over, we'll be back at it again, because we love to do this, man. We can't. It's really hard to think of a day or a week where there won't be a podcast. It's really hard. And
Yeah.
as I said, thank you for watching, you absolute legends. So, I usually tell Fardin to tell you guys to subscribe, but I'm gonna ask this, Bobby. Do you think our viewers should subscribe and like this video?
Yes, you guys should all subscribe. This is an awesome podcast. The guests on here are amazing. The questions on here that the people, you guys are incredible. Like with the questions you ask, and I love the format of what you guys are doing. It's so fun. Like you guys make the show both informative, entertaining, and just overall fun for everybody. So subscribe, like that video, comment what you liked on this video down below, all that jazz.
And also subscribe to Living Bobby and like all his videos, because it's a gem. Trust me, it's a gem.
I mean, if you're not subscribing to Bobby, what the hell are you doing, man?
Exactly, man. Exactly. I mean, a lot of people out there who want to keep their subscriptions reserved. So if you're one of those people, you don't have to subscribe to us. At least subscribe to Bobby.
Bobby, exactly.
He deserves it.
No. Subscribe to you guys. No, you guys really I can't wait to see where this channel is in a couple months. It'll just be. I really think you guys are gonna grow it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Hopefully one day we'll be hosting the Oscars. You never know. And then the first thing. And if we ever host the Oscars, and instead of saying hi, I'll just say, Bobby, Briskey, I hope you all are doing very well. That's you'll know that
I'm gonna hold you to that. I'm gonna hold you to that, because you can definitely do that if you want.
Let's see. All right. So thank you guys for watching. Whatever you're doing, wherever you go, do good things, guys, because it really means a lot to the world. And see you in December, inshallah.
Dinner Convo.